Hi, I'm Nick Mawer and this is the Kramer VM-4HDT. So the VM-4HDT is a distribution amplifier that takes one HDMI input and transmits it out over 4 HDBaseT outputs to up to 4 HDBaseT receivers. In addition to the HDMI input, the machine also allows an RS-232 input and an IR input to be transmitted to the HDBaseT receivers. So here we have the HDMI input, the 4 HDBaseT outputs, the IR input and the RS-232. We have dip switches for setup and a power socket. On the front of the unit, we have indicator lights to establish whether the links are present with the receivers and which outputs are connected. We also have an on indicator and we have the EDID selection button. So a typical receiver for the VM-4HDT would be the TP580R. And here you can see it with its new desktop power supply. So the TP580R has its HDBaseT input, HDMI output, RS-232 on the DB9 connector and IR on a 3.5mm jack. So here we have the laptop feeding into the VM-4HDT and out over 2 HDBaseT lines to these 2 NEC displays. And if I just move my video over here, you can see video playing on both displays. In this setup, we're not actually using RS-232, but it's important to remember a couple of things. The first thing is that the RS-232 signal will go to all 4 outputs at the same time. Now, if you have 4 identical displays, for example, connected to them, they will all receive the same command and they will all act in the same way. If you have different screens and you send a command to, say, an NEC screen, then if you have a Samsung screen attached, it won't actually respond. Here, I'm using Monitor Asset Manager to read the EDID of the VM-4HDT. And I can tell that it is the default EDID, which is 720p. Now I can change that EDID by reading from the displays. So now I'm going to read the EDID from the NEC displays. So I'm going to choose the second display to read through. And now I've read the EDID from the NEC display. So I've just refreshed my screen and now I can tell that we've got the NEC plug and play ID and a native preferred timing of 1920 by 1080 and not the default EDID of 720p. The VM-4HDT is ideally partnered with a product such as the Kramer TP580R using Kramer's DG-CAT or HD-CAT or even our new Uni-CAT Cat6 cables. So here we have it, the VM-4HDT. It's a 1 HDMI in, 4 HDBaseT out distribution amplifier transmitter.